everyone, it's me Sammy. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I hope you're all having an amazing day whatever it is you're doing. Welcome to my first official bake with me. So I did a bake with me for Valentine's Day when I did some little red velvet cupcakes, and I did a Q&A and answered all your guys' questions. But this is my first proper bake with me where it's going to be really in depth, showing you exactly how I make my birthday cakes. I'm so excited. This recipe is sort of like my Victoria sponge cake, and it's decorated as a buttercream rose bouquet cake. So let me show you the end result. I did bake it all yesterday because today is my mum's birthday, but let me show you guys what I made. This is my buttercream rose bouquet cake. It's in the purple hues, but of course you can do it any colour that you'd prefer. But yeah, this is what we are making in this video today. Obviously we are going to go back in time because I filmed it yesterday, but yeah, we are going to show you exactly how I created this, my recipe for my Victoria sponge cake and my buttercream. All the recipes and stuff will be linked down below for you guys as well in the description, just in case you need to screenshot it. But yeah, this is exactly what we made and I'm so happy with it. So yeah, I'm super excited to show you exactly how I made it, guys. If you do like this video, please don't forget to smash the thumbs up button and subscribe, because this will not be the last birthday cake you'll be seeing from me. This will be not too regular, but maybe like once a month or so, or whenever there's birthdays in my family, you're going to be seeing birthday cakes being made. Without further ado, let's go back in time to yesterday and bake with me. First step is to preheat the oven to gas mark 4. Now for this cake we're going to be making 2 9-inch round vanilla sponges. So the first step is going to be to line our cake tin. Now I'm going to show you how I do this and how I found it the easiest way over the years. I'm just going to use some butter as like a glue to stick the paper around the edges and to the bottom. But I'm quickly going to show you how I actually cut it to size when it's a round tin like this. Now for the circle base, what we want to do is just pull out the greaseproof paper just so it's over the surface area, and just cut this into a square. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to fold this in half. Then we're going to fold it in half again. And fold it in half again. And fold it in half again, until we've got this sort of triangle pointed thing, right? And then we're going to basically just line this up sort of with our eyes and sort of line it up to the center of our cake tin, and then we're just going to cut around sort of outline of that, and then hey presto. So we've got that now fits in there perfectly. I'm just going to take it out because we need to butter the tin first, but also for the edges we're literally just going to pull some of this, and we're just going to cut 2 strips. That's deep. Again, just to go around the edge. So we've got our 2 strips and our circle, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to, like I said, butter the inside. So just rub in our stick of butter all over the edges and the base of cake tin. That's just going to help secure our paper in place. I'm going to do the same with the edges and the strips now. Just like that, and we've got our cake tin prepped there, ready for our cake mix to go in. So let's get making our vanilla cake mix. Now I'm going to be using my Ninja food processor to mix all of my cake mix and also my buttercream for this recipe. I tend to take out the blades and use the batter blender. It is the perfect way I've found to mix my batters, and it also makes the most light and creamy buttercream icing, it's absolutely beautiful. So I will always and forever use my Ninja food processor for my cake mixes. I'm going to leave this link down below for you guys, as well as my recipe and method for making this cake, guys. So if you do want to go check that out in the description box, then please do. Now, because we are making such a big cake today, I will be making one sponge at a time, just to make sure that the bake on it is perfect. So we are going to be making 2 of these. I'm using the same cake tin for both. So we're going to be making the sponge batter for one cake, cooking it, getting it out, getting it to cool. Then we'll be making the sponge mix again, repeating the same step, making the sponge mix for one cake again, and then putting it in and putting it into the oven. If you want smaller cakes, then you can just use one lot of this batter and put it into 2 smaller tins and bake it at the same time, if that's your preference. But because we're going for a gigantic birthday cake today, we're not going to do that. So we're going to start by putting 4 large eggs into here. Now, to our 4 large eggs, we're going to add 225 grams of this Best for Baking spread by Asda. Now, to this, I'm going to add 225 grams of caster sugar and 225 grams of self-raising flour. I'm using gluten-free flour here, but you can use regular self-raising flour if you'd like to. The reason I use gluten-free is because it is my mum's birthday cake and she is gluten intolerant, so of course I can't make a birthday cake that she can't eat. So that is the substitution that we use to make this a gluten-free cake. And then the last step is to add 1 level teaspoon of baking powder. Now it's going to pop our Ninja food processor on and just press mix. Once it's been mixed once, I just like to scrape all around the edges, make sure everything's come off and combined, and then I'll just mix it again one more time, just to be doubly sure. But if you don't have a food processor, guys, you can just mix this all by hand. It's not a problem. Now that's our cake mix all done, we are literally just going to pour this now into our lined cake tin. Right, so popping this into the oven now. After about 10-15 minutes, I'm actually going to put a bit of foil over this. We want it to sort of get a golden colour to it, but we don't want too much of a crust to form on the top of the cake, because it is quite a big cake, so we're going to be cooking it for quite a while. So after 10-15 minutes, once it's got a gorgeous golden colour on the top, we're going to be covering it with foil, and then I'll explain the next steps. And while the cake's just cooking now, I'm quickly going to wash this up, and then we're going to make another batter again, the exact same ingredients, the exact same method, just that we've got our second cake batter ready. That's the second lot of cake batter done now, so we're just going to leave that to one side until we are ready for that. I'm quickly just going to chop my greaseproof paper into the sections that I need to line the cake tin for the second time. The cake's been in for 25 minutes now and is looking like this. Just going to put on a piece of foil that we've sort of fashioned into a little hat just to stop it from going too coloured on the top. And then we're just going to pop this back in now, and just keep checking on it every 10-15 minutes, and we'll know it's cooked when a skewer can poke into it and come out clean. It's been 25 minutes so far. I'm going to estimate another sort of 15-20 minutes, but I will let you know when it comes out how long I've cooked it for. It's been 45 minutes. The skewer is coming out perfectly clean, so we're going to remove this from the oven now. We're just going to let this cool for 5 minutes now before we take it out of the tin. So that's now resting and cooling. We've just lined the cake tin once more. I'm just going to pour the batter in. And then once again, we're going to put this in the oven for 45 minutes, putting foil over the top after 25 minutes. That is our second cake finished and out of the oven. We're just going to let these all cool down now. We've got the other one on the side here as well cooling. We're just going to let them all cool down, and then I'll be back in the evening to decorate. Right, it's later on now, guys. We've got our 2 cooled sponges ready to decorate. The first step is going to be to make our butter icing. So I'm going to be using 375 grams of salted butter and 750 grams of icing sugar. We're going to be popping it into our Ninja food processor and blending it up. So actually, just to start off with, I've put in 375 grams of butter, and I've gone for 400 grams of the icing sugar. We're going to blend this first, mix this up first, and then we'll come back and add the other 350 grams of icing sugar. So that's how we're looking after our first mix. I'm just going to pop this back on the scales and add another 350 grams of icing sugar. And now we're just going to mix again. And of of course, if you don't have a food processor or a stand mix or anything, you can just beat this by hand. I'd say it's a lot more hard work, especially if you're working with this kind of quantities. I'm just going to take the top off there because I'm just going to add a splash of milk in. That's it. And then we're just going to mix it one more time. And that is our first round of buttercream finished and ready to use. Right, so now's the fun part where we're going to actually start assembling the cake together now. So we've got our square cake board here, and we're just going to put our first sponge down. Spin it as evenly on the board as I can, and that is that step. And now what we're going to put on here is a coating of buttercream. It makes it so light and airy, like I cannot tell you how whipped this buttercream is. It's beautiful, so light and sweet, and oh, it's delicious. But yeah, we're just going to smooth this over. A little bit more, because we like to have a generous helping of buttercream. We don't want to be stingy on our centre layer. Because we've got quite big sponges, we want the filling to be in proportion, of course. Now, as well as buttercream in our filling, we're also going to be using Seedless raspberry jam. I absolutely love raspberry jam in my sort of Victoria sponge cakes. Much prefer it to strawberry because it's not as sweet. It's got that tartness to it, so it does break it up, especially with lots of buttercream that we're going to be having in this cake. The raspberry just gives a little tartness. But I do also use strawberry. I also use apricot jam in some of my cakes. It just depends what mood we're in and what people sort of want to eat. But yeah, today we're going for Seedless raspberry jam. And then what we're going to do is, because we want the top of the cake to be the top of the cake, what we're going to do is turn it upside down, peel away the baking paper that we put on earlier, and then we're just going to layer it up with jam. And then we're just going to pop this on top of this cake, just like so. And that is the base of our cake ready. Now the next step is to crumb coat our cake. So that involves basically putting a thin layer of buttercream across the whole cake, because we want to make sure that our decoration doesn't get any crumbs or anything on it, basically. So we will be using more of our buttercream and coating our entire cake in a very thin layer of this buttercream. What we want to do is, once we've got the top almost done, we want to just start spreading it onto the side, all across the gap as well, because there is going to be like a small gap where we've sandwiched. We just want to fill that in as well, so it's all one sort of even size. So we just want to make sure that we're filling that and scraping it. We just want to be smoothing that out so that it's all one even side. So again, just putting a lump on and then smoothing it out with your knife so that it all becomes like one smooth, even side. So I'm just going to continue that until the entire cake is done. Right, so that is our cake crumb coated, and we're just going to pop this in the fridge now while we prepare the rest of our buttercream. I've just put the excess icing that was left over from that round into a bowl, because we're going to be doing multiple different colours. I just need it divided up, so I've just popped that into a bowl, and we're going to just wash this up quickly, and then we're going to make the exact same portion that we did before. So 375 grams of butter, 750 grams of icing sugar, and in the exact same way with a splash of milk. So yeah, I'm just going to make another batch of that now. That is our next lot of buttercream made. Now the decorating part of cakes for me is always a lot of improvisation, sort of adjusting my ideas as I go. So if this is a bit higgledy-piggledy, then I do apologise, or if I go back on what I've said, then I do apologise. But my plan for my mum's cake is to make buttercream roses all around the cake to absolutely cover it, in a gradient of purple. So we're actually going to add no food colouring to some of this. That's going to be the top layer, and then as we get to the sort of bottom of the cake, it will be a dark purple. That is the plan. So to achieve that, first of all, I'm not going to colour any of our buttercream yet. Until I know how much plain buttercream I need to use. So we're going to be starting with the top and going down, which is an odd way to do it, but that is the way that we're going to be doing this today. So I've got 4 different piping bags for the 4 different colour gradients. I'm going to be using this star nozzle in my piping bags. So basically I'm just going to cut the tip off of this piping bag, put the nozzle inside, and then we're just going to put this plain non-coloured buttercream in for now. Right, so we have our piping bag now filled, and we've got it twisted at the top to make sure that pressure's coming through. We're going to use our thumb and our fingers to hold that closed, and we're going to be pressing it against our palm to be releasing it from the top like so. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start in the very centre of our cake on the top, and we're going to do a circle basically. We're going to have our piping bag directly upwards. I'm going to start in the centre, and we're gonna just loop around like a C, like that. Let me just show you how it looks from the top. That's how it looks from the top. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make circles of these roses. So I'm gonna start just here. Again, we wanna have our piping bag at the center of where we want that flower to be. Start piping, and then just go around in a circle like that. Again. And they should start to sort of overlap and look like little roses, which looks so cute. It's when you realise that you haven't gone exactly dead centre, and this happens sometimes. It is what it is. And now we just want one more around the edge of this. Quickly just put some more icing in my piping bag because we needed some more. I'm just going to continue. There we go. Right, so now it's starting to look like a bouquet of roses. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to do one layer around the top. Again, we're going to start in the center of where we want to pipe. Again, having our piping bag directly straight out. And we're going to go in and pipe around, just like that. And we're just going to do one layer around the side. Just like that. That is our top and our first layer done. I'm just gonna pop this in the fridge now to try and get this to set while we make our other 2 icing colors, because I don't think I'm gonna get a 3rd in here, but I think we're gonna get 2 gradients of purple, so maybe a light purple and a slightly darker purple here. But yeah, we're gonna pop this in the fridge again now. So yeah, we've got the excess icing now put into 2 bowls. We're gonna use Dr. Oetker's food color in violet, and we're just gonna add 2 drops to this one, 3 drops to this one, and we're just going to test out the colour basically. That basically did nothing, so we're going to have to add a few more drops and I'll check back in when I've got the colours that I want. So these are the 2 purple shades that I'm really liking. I feel like it's going to be a really nice gradient. I'm going to go and do the other 2 layers of the roses now, and then I'll be back for final decorations in a minute. Right, so I thought I'd just jump back on before I complete doing this. So I've done the 2 layers of the roses, so we're looking good around the edges. And then I've literally just made a creative decision to add these on because it was looking very heavily cream, and I had some of the darkest purple left in the piping bag. So I'll show you quickly how I've done this. So basically in between where the roses have been, I've literally just got my piping bag and then just squeezed and released, squeezed and released, squeezed and released, squeeze and release, squeeze, release. It just looks like extra little flowers in our little bouquet, and I just feel like it's really brought the whole thing together. and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I think it looks great. Now the last little finishing touch that I have, apart from candles to put on it tomorrow when my mum's here, but I've got these wafer butterflies from Asda, and I thought I'd see how they look and see if they're gonna fit on here. I thought that'd be cute just to have a few butterflies on here as well. And that is it finished, guys. I've included the happy birthday from the candle set that I got from Asda as well. I've added some butterflies on now, which I think is really giving it a gorgeous finishing touch. And this is our Buttercream Rose Bouquet birthday cake. I think it's absolutely stunning, and yeah, I can't wait to dig into it tomorrow and have a taste, because I know it's going to taste absolutely phenomenal. And that is the end of this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed my first bake with me. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment, because I love hearing feedback from you guys. What would you like me to improve for the next one, or what would you like more detail on, or was it okay? Did you enjoy it? I absolutely love baking cakes. It's such a big passion of mine, so I'm so excited to now bring this to YouTube and combine work and a hobby and passion. It feels amazing. So yeah, I'm super excited about this video, and I really hope that you guys like it as much as I've loved filming it and actually baking this cake. And yeah guys, again, if you did like it, please smash the thumbs up button, subscribe down below. It really helps me out, and hopefully I will see you really soon, guys, for another video. Take care. Bye.